Hey, Shalom. Start by giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, who taught me this truth through the Holy Spirit. And Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there listening and learning. We'll be bringing out some information that I received a couple of days ago. And it's going on about the changes that are about to take place and the new technology they're about to implement upon the population. Okay, and this has been going on around the world, all right, in these recent battlefields, okay, because the technology that they're releasing, okay, is a tracking type of technology, okay, and this goes into Revelation 13. I'm sure I'll get that, okay, but this goes a little deeper, okay, than what we've seen before, all right, and it exposes, the ritualistic nature of Esau, okay, and how he implements these things, okay, using his how would you call it, his sacrifices, okay. This is what this man does before he does anything. He makes a sacrifice to his God, okay, and he brings forth, the things that he was trying to do. Okay, so this is from the People's Voice. Okay, it says Minnesota. Matter of fact, let me get a scripture first. Bear with me. This is 1 Corinthians. Excuse me, 2 Corinthians 2:11. It says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." Okay, so it says Minnesota's Transshooter's father built CIA tracking systems that monitor and predict behavior. Okay, it says the official narrative around the Minnesota church shooting is already raising questions, but the backgrounds of the alleged gunman's father makes the story even stranger. Okay, and we know that the news, okay, and a lot of these websites, okay, are just misinformation sites to trick you. Okay, they're put there to control your mind and to control your emotions. Okay, but the truth, is really stranger than fiction. It says Robert Westman, the accused shooter is the son, of James Weston, a man whose resume reads less like a suburban IT worker and more like a who's who of defense and intelligence contracting. It says for 28 years, Westman, so this is the father of the school shooter, held top-level roles as a contractor for both the Department of Defense and the CIA. Most recently, he was a senior applications developer at Esri. Okay, and if you rearrange those letters, okay, this is what they call it. Bear with me one moment. Okay, this Esri is an anagram. Okay, and this is another tool that Esau uses. Okay, he uses anagrams because this is part of his spell. Okay, and I'm gonna look up that word anagram for you. Okay, um, anagram definition. Okay, and what it says is a word or phrase formed by reordering the letters of another word or phrase, such as satin to stain. Okay, you have another popular one. Okay, is Santa. Okay, going into Satan. Okay, which if you rearrange it is really Satan. It says a game which players form words from a group of randomly picked letters. Okay, so this is what Esau does. Okay, and this word right here, Esri. Okay, if you rearrange the words, okay, it goes into seer. Okay, as in Mount Seir. Okay, also Seer, Seer. Okay, because a lot of these vowels and things are interchangeable. Okay, and this is what this devil does, man. Okay, he tells you these things before they happen, and the Lord makes him do that. Okay, because this is important for the people. Okay, let me get this one. Okay, uh, might have spelled that wrong. Bear with me. Okay, this is the book of Amos 3 and 7. Surely Yahweh Shem Yahushua power will do nothing but reveal his secret unto his servants, the prophets. Okay, so the Lord forces Esau to do this. Okay, so his things can be revealed for the prophets. Okay, the ones that are looking and watching. Okay, for the prophecies to come to pass. Okay, so this is why this devil does this. He's forced to do this. Okay, and this is why he does it. All right, but this Esau Edom, okay, is preparing to bring, global surveillance, global tyranny, just like we told you. Okay, just like the elders on down have already told you that these things are gonna happen. Okay, whether you hear or bear with me one moment. Forgive me for always going into these different things, but I do it, okay, in order to prepare you, for what we're about to face, okay, because the scriptures say, Proverbs 29 and 18, where there is no vision, the people perish. Okay, so I bring these things up, so in a time when you don't have anybody to tell you these things, you can look back on these lessons, and bear with me. Shalakia. And again, it's just for you to be able to see these things, in the future. Okay, but I'm gonna go back to the article. Okay, so it says Robert Westman, the accused shooter, is the son of James Westman. Okay, I already read that. Okay, so this guy has been working with the Department of Defense. Okay, more than likely Palantir. Okay, and the rest of these people. Okay, because this group of technocrats that Donald Trump brought in, which you had Palantir, you had Oracle, and several other different ones. You have Microsoft. Okay, all these companies are really all combined. Okay, because you have conglomerates like BlackRock. Okay, and there's two other ones. I can't remember their name right now. But this is all, they're all intertwined. Okay, and this is part of the global surveillance. This is part of the one world order. Okay, so Donald Trump brought in all these people, okay, in order to bring forth the prophecies which we're telling you. Okay, so he was an application developer at ESRI, a geospatial intelligence giant whose mapping software is used across the Pentagon, DHS, Google, and virtually every major surveillance program in the world. Okay, so this guy, okay, who just, basically, did a mass shooting. Okay, his father was, who was a big time player. Okay, in the development of this software. Okay, so it says ESRI's Geographic Information Systems technology is the backbone of satellite ground mapping, GPS tracking, and defense intelligence. In simple terms, if the government wants to track movement, map battlefields, or surveil populations, okay, the global surveillance, ESRI tools are at the center of it. The company even boasts of its deep integration with U.S. intelligence services. Okay, this isn't just. It says this isn't just dad worked in tech. This is dad worked on the exact systems the government uses to monitor and predict human behavior. Okay, so why couldn't he predict his own son's behavior? Okay, because this is all, a mass programming. Okay, it says this isn't the first time such connections have surfaced. Researchers have pointed out a strange pattern. Okay, and this is what I'm telling you. Okay, these devils make a sacrifice before they do anything. It says the father of Sandy Hook shooter Adam Lanza was a high-level executive in global finance with defense ties. The father of the Aurora Theater shooting, James Holmes, worked on algorithms for DARPA and major defense contractors. Even the Unabomber's family was tied to Cold War defense projects. Okay? So these devils would sacrifice their own children, okay, to bring forth, whatever enchantment that they have. Okay, and this is a sacrifice to Molech. Okay, and this is why they worship that. Okay, because it gives them power. Okay, but they're losing power because of the internet, and this is why they're gonna, slowly bring in these changes. Okay, and this is gonna lead to what? The famine of the word. It's gonna lead into the mark of beast. It's gonna lead into all these prophecies being fulfilled. All right. It says now once again a mass shooter's family turns up in a world of military intelligence and geospatial surveillance. Okay. I'm gonna read some of the comments. It says probably a false flag or MK Ultra trial. These things have often unexplainable coincidences. I do not trust anything anymore nowadays. Even faces can be generated. Right. And this is all part of it. Okay, to bring confusion to the people. Okay, to bring in, the problem, reaction, solution. Okay, which is the Hegelian dialectic. Okay, and this is how these people, advance their agendas. Okay, Hegelian, which also goes into the word hell. Okay, Hellenist. Okay, this is what these devils do, and it's all in a form to bring. It's all in a effort. Excuse me, to bring forth prophecy. Okay, which is the book of Revelations. Okay, and also Revelations the 13th chapter. And I'll read it. It says 13 and 14, it says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had a wound by the sword and did live. Okay, and that image of the beast is the Roman Empire. It says, and he had power to give life into the image of the beast, and that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in a right hand or in a forehead. Okay, and this is a tracking device. Okay, not only is it a digital wallet, your health information, your medical records, and things of that nature. This is also a tracking device. All right, and this is why they're wanting to bring in this technology, okay, because they are going to track you. All right, and if you don't accept it, you are going to get destroyed. All right, and this is why we continue to make these lessons. We make it. I made it 100 times. I made this lesson 100 or more times. Okay, there's a gradualism that's involved in this. Okay, but we got to the point where they're ready to bring it out. Okay, and this is gonna lead into the famine. It's gonna lead into the famine of the word. Okay, let me see if I can get it. So we're getting into some crazy times, man, and we're getting into some times where you're gonna have to have mega faith, man. Okay. And another reason why we continue to bring these out to build up your faith and show you that it's coming. Okay, so you can see the punch before it comes, and prepare your defense. This is Amos 8 and 11. It says, "Behold, the days cometh, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is his name," and you're going to have to know these names. Okay, you're going to have to trust in these names. You're going to have to trust in the word. You're going to have to trust in the spirit. Okay, you're going to have oil in your lamp. All right, you're going to need these things. It says, "Behold, the days cometh, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst of water, but there will be that also." Okay, it says, "But of hearing the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua." Okay, so this is also what's going to come to pass, because these devils are going to take down these videos. Okay, they're going to stop it from going forth. Okay, the elders have been talking about that lately as well, because these things are about to pass. Okay, and this truth is going to be labeled as a hate speech, which it already is. Okay, because you have all these Israelite groups on the Southern Poverty Law Centers hate register. Okay, they're going to take these things down. All right, and they're going to force you to comply. Okay, and what's going to have to happen in that time? You're going to have to be a pilgrim on the earth. Okay, you're going to have to trust in the Lord. Okay, that he's going to protect you, or else you're going to take the chip. Plain and simple. All right, but there's not going to be any more warning to come forth. Okay, once it's over, it's over. Okay, and this is where we're headed. It says, "They shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east. They shall run to and fro, and seek the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and shall not find it. And that day shall the fair virgins and the young men faint for thirst. They that swear by the sin of Samaria, and say, Thy power, O Dan, liveth, and the manner of Beersheba liveth, even they shall fall and never rise up again." Okay, so all y'all that love Babylon and the wicked ways of it, you're going to fall too if you take this chip. Okay, you're going to fall too if you don't get this word, before it gets taken away. All right, so, I just wanted to show you that, okay, all these things are interconnected. Okay, these different shootings, okay, it's all just a ritual. Okay, a ritual murder. Okay, this is what it is. Matter of fact, let's look that up. Ritual murder. Okay, because this is what these devils do. Let me get it real quick. Okay, ritual murder meaning, okay, it says a ritual killing refers to the murder of a human being as part of a religious, spiritual, or medicinal rite. This practice has existed for thousands of years across various cultures. Okay, going back to the Canaanites. Okay, this is what they've always been doing. It's going back 1,000 years. So don't think it stopped now. And these people in these high places, they use this. And why do they use it? Because it works. Okay, ritual murder sparks fear. Okay, and it sparks fear, and it causes the victims to be paralyzed with fright. Okay, and they can in turn use that to force things upon you. Okay, to force rules upon you, to force your consent. Okay, this is why they do this. Okay, this is all. This isn't anything that's just a coincidence. No, these things are used for a reason. Okay, this says this practice has existed for thousands of years across various cultures, often as a means to appease deities. Okay, to appease their gods. Okay, so when you see these things happen, okay, just know that something else is happening behind the scenes. Okay, just like you had, and the more people that die in these things, the bigger the things that happen. Okay, you seen 9/11 where thousands of people died, and that allowed them to bring in what? The Patriot Act. Okay, so the bigger the level of ritual murder, the bigger the change you're gonna see. Okay, so don't just look at these things happening, these schools, as just something that's passing for the day. No, there's something underneath that. There's an underlying thing that's about to happen because of that. Okay? So it says it often as a means to appease deities, seek supernatural support, okay, to please these demons. Okay, and America is full of demons. That's why they never stop it. Okay, because they need it. It says achieve spiritual goals. Okay, so this is what just happened here. Okay, you see the Catholic Church was involved in that as well. All right, so stay focused, man. All right, because it's almost over. There's a lot more that's gonna have to take place. Call Halal Yahweh Shem Shai. A lot more evil is about to take place. Okay, and you're gonna have to, you know, hide in a secret place. Okay, which is this truth, and under the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. Lord's will is edified. So the next time I'll end it by giving all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash. Shalom.